Alright, hey everyone, it's Louie, and today we're going to be making a New England style IPA that's going to be a little more sessionable, right? But before we get to that, I wanted to say thank you, Clawhammer Supply, for allowing me to be featured on your YouTube channel. This is awesome. Woo! All claps all around. Alright, so before we get to the brewing, I wanted to show you really what it's like to have kind of like a small apartment and what you can do with the space, right? So you want to make the most out of the space that you have. But I made this my space right here dedicated to brewing, and I also have a fermentation station. Choo-choo! I have a stainless steel table. I have some kegs underneath here. Some of the other equipment. I got some grains here that are ready and crushed because I don't mill my own grains. Shout out to Bitter and Nesters also for providing the grains. They're really great people. Support your local businesses. So I got my grains here. I got my equipment right here from Clawhammer Supply. Some of the hoses and stuff I kind of keep in here, just it's a little easier. Like I said before, I don't have a ton of space, so gotta work with what you got. All right, so that's that. I also have my wine fridge, which you guessed it, I don't use for wine because I put beer in it. So this is my next station right here, my little fermentation station. It's a little messy, but that's the reality. When you don't have a lot of space, you just have to really just find little nooks and crannies where you can fit everything. And that's it. All right, so let's take the equipment outside because it's a beautiful day and it's nice and warm and it's not gonna rain, hopefully. All right, so I've passed the hose right through my window over here. It's a nice sunny day too, look at that. And we're gonna set up here my little brewing corner. So I'm gonna add a little bit of cold water until I get to about 7 gallons. The recipe is gonna be below if you guys have any questions about it. Oh, you hear the train? That's a train. Choo-choo.
All right, back to work.
All right, I'm gonna fill this water now. Jeez, that water pressure, oh my God. And New York City water is very nice to work with. It tastes great. That's why the pizza over here is really awesome. I actually talk a lot about pizza in some of the tours that we do with Sarah. If you guys know Sarah, she's behind the camera. And Sarah and I actually do tours of New York City, and you can look her up at sarahfunky.com or just look at her YouTube channel. All right, we're almost at 7 gallons, so that's all I need. I put all my water in here and I'm going to set the temperature to 155. Then I'm gonna turn it on, we'll cover it. Once it reaches 155, we'll put our grains in, start our mash for about an hour, and then we'll come back and revisit that. And I'm gonna drop them in now. I'm just gonna drop them in. Oh, you know what I did? Because I'm a dummy. I forgot to put my basket in. What a fool. Anyways, you know what? It'll be totally fine. It'll be fine, it'll be fine, trust me. All right, now our grains basket is finally in. But see, it's home brewing. You gotta just take it as it goes, man, whatever. I'm just gonna drop the grains in now, and it's 9 pounds of Pilsner, of German Pilsner, and then about 2.3 pounds of flaked oats. The recipe and the details will be below, by the way, so you guys can take a look there. I'm gonna get all the dust, all the sugars get up in there. And I'm just gonna make sure there's no clumps in there. This all looks really beautiful. What I'm hoping to get from this is like a really nice body for the little New England IPA that I'm making. And I'm going to be using one type of hop followed by a dry hopping for 5 days of Citra. The one kind of hop that I'm using, drum roll please, you guys can edit that in, right? But the one hop addition that I'm going to be using for this once the boil starts is called Falconer's Flight, and it's a hybrid of 7 other kinds of hops. Let's see if I can name them all right now. Cascade, Centennial, Chinook.
Let's start this again.
Cascade, Centennial, Chinook, Cascade, Citra, oh yeah, Columbus, and Crystal. Whoa, I actually remembered it. That's amazing. All right.
No.
So I think this is a pretty well mixed now. I'm just gonna cover it and turn my pump on and let this kind of recirculate. Great. Woo. All right, we're just gonna let it chill now for an hour. We'll come back after, all right? Let's go read, I don't know, let's go have a beer.
Safety first.
Now my mash is over, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the grains out, and the lovely Sarah's gonna help me. And this is Sarah, look at her. Wow! I'll make sure to give Sarah some credit as the assistant brewmaster. But you can go ahead and place them. Got it? Put the other one there. Okay. It's actually okay. I'll just let it tilt like this so all the stuff will go to one side. Yep. And that's it. Thanks, Sarah. I appreciate your help. So I'm gonna let this drain for maybe like 10-ish minutes, and then I'm gonna start on my boil. I actually already raised the temperature to boiling to 212. There's a lot of like waiting involved in home brewing. Luckily, it's like very like casual. Don't take it too seriously, you know, just relax, just chill. It's a good boil. I'm gonna put this hop spider in now. Right there. There we go. Now I'm gonna put 0.25 ounces of Falconer's flat in here for bittering for just like an hour, and we're gonna let that go now. And then we'll come back and do our other hop additions, right? All right, so toward the last 15 minutes of my boil, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna recirculate through my plate chiller right now. So I'm gonna put this all up here, so you'll see I've already organized all my connections. And basically, what I'm trying to do is just sanitize the plate chiller. So I'm gonna turn this on now, and I'm gonna start my recirculation. Pump on. And yep, that's working as expected. So now that I've recirculated for 15 minutes, I'm gonna add the last hop addition, which is only for 5 minutes. All right, so we're gonna let this go for 5 minutes, and then we're gonna turn it down to 170, do a whirlpool for the last 45 minutes. All right, I'm gonna turn my water on now. All right, so now using my plate chiller, I'm bringing it down to 170, and it's almost there actually. Went from about 210 to 185 right now, and it's only been like a few seconds, so. All right, now I'm gonna do my very last hop addition of Falconer's Flight. It's 2.65 ounces, and it's gonna whirlpool at 170 degrees. Ready? How's that? And when that's complete, we're gonna come back and cool it down, pitch our yeast, ferment it. Well, we won't ferment it, the yeast will ferment it. Just checking up on this now. I am currently at like 5 gallons, and I think our recirculation is all set and our whirlpool is done, finally. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna turn my heat off, I'm gonna turn my water on, and we're gonna get this thing to cool down at around like 70 degrees. That'll be it. All right, so I'm also sanitizing this bucket right here. Ah, surprise, look at this. Wash my hands, don't worry. I have my yeast packet in here, which I already had kind of like smacked about 3 hours ago, so it's ready to go. It's ready to be pitched, and soon it will be. So I got my hydrometer and my measurement right here. We're just gonna take a reading real quick, and but look at the color. This color looks super nice.
Super juicy.
Whoop! Oh boy. So we'll do a little spinny spin. So I'm currently sitting at 1050. 1050 seems accurate to me, which is exactly where I wanted to be at. So right now I think we're set. It's about 75, but I'm gonna call it, because you know what? I got stuff to do. All right, it's good to the last drop over here, so I'm gonna come see what it looks like. You guys are about to see an embarrassingly amount of grains at the bottom and oats. Yep. This looks like a big dookie. Learned my lesson. So because of my unfortunate mistake that I made of not putting my grain basket in.
Oh, you know what I did?
I lost some grain in here, and a lot of water was absorbed, so I ended up with 5 gallons exactly of wort. I'm gonna take this off. And I know once I dry hop, some of the water is gonna be absorbed by the hops as well, so I'm probably gonna end up with like maybe 4.5, definitely less than 5 gallons of actual beer at the very end, but I'm sure it'll be delicious beer and it won't last long. Anybody else do this with their system, by the way? Because I want to get all all the wort that I can. All right, ready? I'm gonna pitch my yeast now. All right, and this is Denny's favorite. It's really good for like New England IPAs. And I'm just gonna put it right in here. And I'm just gonna put my finger on it like this and shake it about for a little bit. Or a lot, or a while. I do like a whole minute usually. All right, I'm gonna call that. That's enough. And I'm actually gonna create a quick blow off valve, and I'll be right back. Wait. Ta-da, I'm back. All right, I'm just gonna put some sanitizer in here. You guys like my lab out here? This is all you need if you want to be a home brewer. All right, and honestly, I prefer to do this instead of airlocks initially because sometimes the fermentation could be super active, especially because we're gonna dry hop it after. Like in about 3 days, we'll dry hop it, and I'll show you guys how to do that as well. It's been 3 days since fermentation started, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my Falconer Spite, which is like 1.75 ounces of the hops, and then I'm gonna add 1 ounce of Citra, and then I'm just gonna put it right into my fermenter because I've tried using like a muslin? I don't know how to say it. You guys figure that out. But I've done it through a bag, and it just like always ends up like kind of like weird clumped together, and through a filter as well. So I'm just gonna dump them all in there just like that. And then I'm gonna cold crash it, and hopefully all the solids go all the way down. And now I'm gonna wait about 5 days. And after 5 days, I am going to come back, check on it, cold crash it, and then keg it. And then we'll try it out. We just finished dry hopping this for 3 days. And I like to do this in my bottling bucket, and I'm just pushing some CO2 into here, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and drop this in there carefully because I just also cold crashed it a little bit, so most of the sediment will be at the bottom. All right, what I've done here is that I'm gonna force carb this, and right now I have it at like around 25, and I'm just gonna shake it for maybe like a minute, and then check it for carbonation, and then that'll be it. Maybe I'll let it condition in the fridge for like a week after, but this is pretty much gonna be ready to drink. And I'm doing this kind of like in a rush, cause you know what? We don't got the luxury of time here in New York. All right, I just poured my beer. It's got a nice little foamy head on top. So you know what? Enough talking. Let's just taste the beer, right? I didn't think it was gonna be this bitter, but it is slightly more bitter than other New England IPAs that I've tried or made. It's really great. It's really refreshing. It's not too heavy, which is exactly what I was going for. That was exactly the goal that I wanted to accomplish here. Well, I'm gonna enjoy this drink now, but if you really like this video, make sure to subscribe and comment and like away. All right? I'll see you some other time. Maybe another brew. Bye.